Welcome to Spanish 1412. My name is Dr. Vole, and I'm your instructor this semester. Whether you have me as a paced course or a self-paced course, you'll basically follow the same thing that I'll describe. And the same for 1412. You'll see that in Blackboard you've got the menu on the left. You always land in your announcements, and we know we're using conectados. I want you to be sure that you understand how to contact me, and most of the time it will be through clicking on messages and creating a message. I will be checking these messages every other day, 4 times or more a week. If you feel that I have not communicated with you, you can go ahead and click on the professor information. And if there's an emergency, I want you to text me. My phone number is available in professor information. And then next, it's important for you to check the announcements 2 to 3 times a week, whether you're in Spanish 1411 or 1412, or even if this is a self-paced course, I will be leaving at least one important announcement per week, probably more than one early in the semester. Make sure you read Syllabus 1 and Syllabus 2. Syllabus 2 page 2 has a lot of information regarding your semester course code, when we're going to have a census date, and what you have to do in order to stay in the class. If you have not participated in the class with the items I have described on this page, then you might be withdrawn from the class. After our census date, I cannot withdraw you from class, and the information on how to withdraw, when to withdraw, is here on syllabus page 2. I put in a pretty extensive course schedule here because we've got 12 weeks to do what people going to class, driving to class, walking to class, sitting through class do in 4 months. We have 3 months. So I know it's a little compressed and there'll be a little bit more information coming. But what I've tried to do, let me make this larger, is at least give you a due date of when assignments are due, when you can expect the due date for your assessments. And I'm going to give you an example. It looks like I have not opened up the link for this, but I will. What should happen? What should happen is that when you are in your course, you're going to click on lessons. Right now they're hidden because I'm still updating. And what you should be able to do is go through your orientation folder as well as your orientation chapter or whatever assignments I have. For Spanish 1411, I have the preliminary chapter. It's also important that these be completed by January 25th because that's the census date. So when you click into the preliminary chapter, you'll see something like this. How do I use the iLrn? So it says, click how to use conectados, and then scroll down. When you've clicked inside, scroll down to see 2 videos. This is a link into our class. So I'm going to click in it, and really is what it's saying. It's launching the new material. It's taking us now directly into iLrn. And it said, click on course materials. And what did it say again? I forgot. Reference materials. Sorry. And then how to use conectados. So now I've clicked on this, and you now can watch a video, the learning path of conectados, and just click on the play video and come on down then and look at the course essentials. Okay, what are the important parts of the iLrn once you've linked in that could help you? The next thing I want you to know is I'm going to click out of this back to our lesson, and I want you to see that the first item, if it's Spanish 1412, you're going to obviously have a different link sitting here. But if it's our 1411 course and you need to complete this lección preliminar, I want you to click on that link. And again, it launches the content, linking us directly into iLrn. That is if you've already linked yourself in by using our course code and your book code. So what this is telling you here, once you've signed up into our iLrn, you can automatically be linked through our Blackboard, because our lessons are going to be formulated in a much more streamlined manner inside Blackboard to take you directly into your iLrn. And you'll see that you can go through the lesson to the left, but I believe going to the assignment calendar still and clicking on the date of the week where we are, okay. I just updated this. Okay, let me get to the assignment materials then. We'll go to View by Chapter. We're going to click, we want to view only the assigned activities. And basically, what you can do is know that you can navigate to Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 for Spanish 1411, 5, 6, 7, and 8 for Spanish 1412. And you want to make sure you view the assigned activities, because a green A here says it is assigned. This says when it's ultimately due. Here we have January 22nd, el 22 de enero. And how many attempts do you have? You've got 3 attempts. Your best attempt will be accepted as your grade. Later on, you'll see when you've completed it and your highest score that's here. Accents make a difference, and it will be counted as a spelling error and incorrect if you don't use the diacritical marker bar. For example, if I click into the activity itself and I listen. This one, I guess, is just a drop and drag, so I'm not having to spell anything. But here's a diacritical marker here. This O with an accent. If you are spelling in Spanish and you're not using that, it's an error. The same thing, pay attention if you need a capital C for someone's name or a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence. If you don't use the proper capitalization or punctuation, upside down question mark, then it will be counted as incorrect. When you need these diacritical markers, like an upside down question mark or an accent, you will see a marker bar up here where you can click on it to put it in your response. All right, so that's how we're going to be using the iLrn within Blackboard. So it's really important that you use those links and you do the work. The other thing is that for you to see your grades, you all as students will have another thing here called results. You'll click that results and you can see chapter by chapter how you're doing in the iLrn. But this semester, I've also linked it to Blackboard so that at the end of our dates, so we're going to go back to Blackboard and we're going to go to our syllabus page 2. And you'll notice that there'll be specific dates where I will be syncing the grade from iLrn into Blackboard. So here you're going to see that on the 22nd of January, or by the 25th of January, I will sync our iLrn gradebook to our Blackboard gradebook. You'll see that when we hit around the 20th, all of your course materials, tutorials, quizzes, all of the things, as soon as I'm done with the course materials, for chapter 1, I'll be syncing the gradebook. I'll sync the gradebook again after I have all the, the assessments done, and then I will sync the gradebook, every once in a while, so that you'll be able to go into the Blackboard gradebook and see the columns and actually see your participation in your grades. Your grades unrolling inside the Blackboard. The other thing that you'll notice is the grade distribution. Now it's a little different from Spanish 1411 to 1412, but do pay attention to your course grade. This is course assessments, and in 1411, it's 20%, 60%, etc. So I want you to pay attention to these grades because you can always see the results in iLrn, but we want to make sure that those grades are also coming over into Blackboard so that you can see your grades unfolding this semester. The other thing, last thing I want to say is about writing and speaking in the course. 1412 has much more writing, and I've noticed that in 1411, everybody likes to go and do a translation site, and they're less likely to ask friends. But if you use a translator or a translation site, I know it, because they're not using the vocabulary from our chapters. It's okay to use a translation site if you're just checking what you've already written in Spanish and you want to see that it makes sense in English for now. But I'm urging you to use your course materials, your e-course manual, to really look at the chapters and to really exploit the grammar that's presented there and the vocabulary that's presented there. Otherwise, you can sound a little too awkward. You can make funny errors, embarrassing errors, or you're not really studying the materials that you've signed up for. So again, use for speaking and writing your own vocabulary you're learning from this chapter. And for near native speakers, heritage speakers, I know that it sounds awkward. I know that it doesn't sound like your family's dialect or your friend's dialect, but you are learning the language in an academic setting, and these are the materials that we are requiring you to use. Let's see what else. We get to lessons. All right, let me get us into what the lessons will look like just on the outside for a minute. You're going to see a lot of changes between now and so on. But I want you to look at lessons. So you're going to see an orientation. You'll see the preliminary chapter, and then you'll be clicking into lesson 1. And lesson 1 will have threads in it. So within your lesson, whatever chapter it is, you're going to see that there are going to be folders with links that will be underneath the steps. And I'll probably reconfigure this quite a bit. But inside, these are where you will find your links to the course. And to the iLrn. And if you have questions, my favorite thing for you to do is to actually come to the discussion board. And in the discussion boards here, you're going to, obviously you'll have your welcome, but as you read the syllabus, the orientation next week, and you start working on your preliminary chapter, I want you to click in here and write content questions that I can answer or your friends in the class can answer. Then when you're studying in chapter 1 and you're getting confused, use the discussion board. Other students can probably find answers or have answers for you that might come along 15 minutes after you post, rather than waiting a couple hours after you post to see professors' answers there. But, I'll guide the questions and answers, and if no one else is answering, obviously I will answer. So that is all I wanted to share with you, and hope you have a Great evening.